Thank you very much for joining me once again. Another bitterly disappointing day for Pakistan cricket, and it was inevitable, wasn't it, that they weren't going to qualify. Did they deserve to qualify for the semi-finals? I don't think Pakistan did. Let's be honest about it. They won 4 games, they lost 5. The 4 games that they won, Sri Lanka obviously struggled throughout the tournament. They beat Bangladesh comfortably, probably their best performance of the World Cup. They beat Netherlands and they beat New Zealand on the DLS method. Now, they were going well in that chase, but who knows whether they would have been able to chase that massive target against New Zealand. All in all, I don't think Pakistan can have any complaints about not qualifying for the semi-finals. There are 4 teams who have qualified for the semi-finals who are better than Pakistan at this moment in time. So I thought I'll look at the, rather than doing a review of the match and of the tournament, I'd look at individual players and how they've fared at this tournament, do like a ratings system out of 10 for each of the players based on stats, performance, overall contribution, and how they fared as a whole in the tournament rather than across individual matches. So we start at the top and we work our way down. It's not very pretty, but what do you expect? A friend of mine actually said give them all 0 out of 10. I think that would have been harsh, wouldn't it? Even me, being a stern critic of Pakistan cricket, would not have given the guys 9 out of 10. They don't deserve it, really, do they? Let's start at the top. Fakhar Zaman. I've given him 8 out of 10 for this World Cup. I know he flopped against England, bit of a scratchy innings. He came into this tournament with patchy form. His confidence wasn't great. He had fitness doubts. But when he came into the team, what an impact. Fantastic batting. Exactly what we missed at that top of the order. He carries the batting. He's absolutely vital. His numbers, 220 runs, average of 73.33, strike rate, 122.9. We need more of that, don't we? We need more batters with a strike rate of 100 plus. Yeah, Fakhar's strike rate is absolutely phenomenal. 18 sixes he hit in the tournament. He was a breath of fresh air. 150 and 100. What a player. So he's top of the pile for me. I know he only played a few matches, but he gets the highest rating, 8 out of 10. I think it's deserved. Then we go to Wasim Jr. I've given him 7 out of 10, which some people might think is a little bit generous. But the reason I've given that is that he came into this tournament probably thinking he's just going to be watching, might get the odd game here or there. But actually what happened was, once Hassan Ali got injured, Wasim Jr. made it a situation where he had to be picked. He bowled fantastically well. Yes, he didn't have a great day against England, but I think he's definitely one for the future. Ian Bishop made some fantastic comments about Wasim Jr. and how he hopes that he continues to be picked by Pakistan and not discarded. I think he had a really good tournament, all things considered, especially given that it was his first World Cup. And as I said before, he probably didn't think that he was going to get much game time. But when he came in, he grabbed that opportunity with both hands. Wholehearted cricketer, honest trier. 10 wickets, average of 21.5, economy rate of 5.63, which I think for a pacer in this tournament is damn good, especially a young guy like him. He's useful with the bats we saw against England today. He can improve in that aspect of his game, but he's definitely one for the future. He should be proud of his efforts at this World Cup. Then we go to Shaheen Shah Afridi, who I tipped as one of the 5 outstanding players of the World Cup before this tournament started. Probably didn't have the impact that he'd hoped for in this tournament. But I think he was missing his new ball partner, Wasim Shah, who was a big loss for the Pakistan team. And I think Shaheen felt his absence the most. He ended up with 18 wickets, which is admirable, I think, given that the Pakistan bowling unit as a whole struggled in this competition. Average of 26.72, economy rate of 5.93. I think he'll be a little bit disappointed with the economy rate. And he probably thinks that he maybe could have had about 20 wickets in this tournament. But again, wholehearted effort. He was probably more expensive than he wished in this tournament. Not at his best, probably not 100% fit. But again, somebody who gave absolutely everything in the field, whether it was with the ball or with the bat, as we saw against England. So I think Shaheen, whilst given the competitor that he is, he'll be disappointed. But I think he can say that he had a decent tournament. Then we go to Iftikhar Ahmed, who many feel, given his age, 42. No, he's not 42, is he? Sorry, I've got my numbers mixed up there, honestly. Whatever his age is, he is somebody who has flattered to deceive in a Pakistan shirt. But I think at this tournament, again, with both bat and ball, if they did the job that was required of him, it's frustrating at times with the bat. You think just when he's well set, you think he's going to go on and get a 40, 50. Doesn't quite manage that. But then sometimes it's because of the situation that he's batting in and where he's been pushed in the batting order as well. So his numbers, 142 runs, average of 23.66, strike rate, impressive, 115.44. Maybe that average should be a little bit higher if there's any criticism we can throw at Iftikhar Ahmed. With the ball, 4 wickets, average of 65.5, but a very good economy rate of 5.45. Probably bowled more overs than he'd expected in this tournament, but that was because of the poor form of Usama Amir, Mohammad Nawaz, and Shabab Khan. So Iftikhar Ahmed, yep, I think he deserves some credit. I've given him 6 out of 10 for his efforts at this World Cup, which I think is a fair mark for him. Salman Ali Agha, I've given him 6 out of 10. Poor guy hasn't had many opportunities, has he? He's been sat on the bench watching his teammates lose most of the matches and probably wondering when is my chance going to come. 51 off 45 balls in his only innings against England, tidy innings, did well, showed a good range of shots. When basically there was literally nothing to play for, given the situation Pakistan found themselves in, having lost those early wickets. With the ball, definitely needs to improve his bowling if he wants to be classed as a genuine all-rounder. At the moment, I see him as a batsman who can bowl a little bit, needs to work on his bowling. If he can work on his bowling where he can bowl 5, 6, 7 overs, and rather than just a couple of overs here and there as a fill-in bowler, I think he could become an integral part of the Pakistan ODI team. However, I think there is scope there, but there needs to be some improvement in all facets of his game. But I've given him 6 out of 10. As I say, he gave everything and he tried his best. Just his bowling lacks some control and potency. Then we go to Abdullah Shafiq. I've given him 5 out of 10. His numbers are 336 runs, average of 42, strike rate of 93.33, 350s, excuse me, and a wonderful 100. Impressive numbers if you look all round. An average of 42, pretty good. Again, though, he needs to get into those situations where he's converting those 50s into 100s, playing those match-winning innings, maybe increase that strike rate a little bit more, possibly too many dot balls, and he needs to work on that head position for that in-swinging delivery. But no batsman's perfect, are they? There's always areas to improve upon, areas that they need to work on. Considering not many people thought of him as an ODI batter, he's had a decent World Cup. I think people probably thought it would be Fakhar Zaman and Imam ul-Haq opening the batting, but Abdullah Shafiq played in all the games, and he deserved to play in all the games, actually. He's a classy batter, and it'll be interesting to see how his ODI career develops going forward. So I've given him 5 out of 10. Sal Shakil, 5 out of 10. Similar to Abdullah Shafiq insofar as came into the tournament with question marks as to whether he would make the starting 11 or whether he'd be one of the guys warming the bench. His numbers, 241 runs, average of 34.43, 97.96 strike rate, and 250s. Now, I like Sal Shakil. I think he's a wonderful cricketer. He's a cricketer who gives absolutely everything, whatever the situation. He's impressed a lot of the commentators. My big criticism of Saud, though, is when he's set, just when you think he's got that 30, 40 runs, all right, go on now, improve that strike rate, get up there, 70, 80, 100 scores on, gets himself out to stupid shots sometimes. Shots that he doesn't need to play, shots that aren't in his armory, really, needs to stick to his strengths. We know what his strengths are. He's a wonderful player of spin. He is more than capable against pace bowling, but sometimes he just tries to be too clever with the bat. But he's another who I think should hold his head up high and say that I've had a decent World Cup. Not great by any stretch of the imagination, but he's done okay, and that's why I've given him 5 out of 10. Haris Rauf, I wasn't sure whether to give him 3 out of 10 or 4 out of 10, but my assessment is 4 out of 10, purely because he got 16 wickets. He's a wicket-taking bowler. He was the most expensive bowler in this World Cup and in any World Cup, which isn't a stat to be proud of. He will not enjoy that stat. He's probably hoping that somebody overtakes him in this tournament, but we shall see. Um, Average of 33.31, which is a little bit high with the ball, and that economy rate. That is the problem. 6.74. Yeah, people will say, oh, he's a wicket-taking bowler, he's going to go for runs. But I'm sorry, Wasim Akram was a wicket-taking bowler when Imran Khan brought him in to the one-day side in 1992. He had that license to take wickets. Run in, son. Doesn't matter how many wides, no balls you concede. You just take wickets for me. But the problem is, Haris Rauf just goes for too many runs. Why does he go for too many runs? It's that lack of control sometimes. I think he just tries too many different things. Towards the end of the innings, he's fantastic because what he's concentrating on is cutters and Yorkers, and that's what works for him. I think early in his spells, a lot of first overs, early overs in his bowling spells have gone for a lot of runs. He's been far too expensive. Needs to work on that. I think he's one of those guys who's maybe struggled to go from T20 cricket to ODI cricket. Rizwan, Mohammad Rizwan, I've given him 4 out of 10. His numbers are impressive: 395 runs, average of 65.83, strike rate of 95.41. So he's one of those guys who's had a decent World Cup. My biggest problem with Rizwan is his lack of match-winning innings at this World Cup. I think he's batted well. He's looked pretty good. Again, he's thrown his wicket away a couple of times, and stop wasting those reviews, Rizwan bhai. Come on, if you're not sure, don't review. First thing he does is, review it. Let's go for the review. And before you know it, that review's wasted. It's gone. It's going over the stumps. It's going down leg side. It was an inside edge for an LBW. Don't have him as your person to go to for a review. Needs improving. But I thought he batted quite well in this tournament. Oh, apart from that shot today that he played against England, which was embarrassing, really, wasn't it? Babar Azam. Now then, giving him 4 out of 10, again, because of his couple of good innings. That fantastic partnership with Fakhar Zaman, mainly against New Zealand, where he was at his best. He's batting with somebody who can play those big shots. He was playing the supporting role. That's where he's at his best, isn't it? When he's got that guy with him who can play those big shots, who can hit those 15, 16 runs and over, and Babar just calmly goes about his business, scoring at a runner ball. Obviously, Fakhar Zaman wasn't available for all the tournament, and that's why Babar Azam didn't have that luxury. 320 runs, average of 40. That's okay. Strike rate, not good enough. Strike rate of 82.90. On those wickets, nowhere near good enough. And I'll be the first to tell him that as well. That strike rate should be a lot higher. It should be up towards 90, even 100. For a batsman of his caliber, batting at number 3 in that key position, strike rate of 82.9. Cost matches, I'm afraid. 450s he made, and I thought his captaincy was poor throughout the tournament. He's received a lot of criticism. He's not liked the criticism. He's wanted people to message him and give him the criticism directly rather than sitting on television. Well, I'm sitting on here and I'm criticising his captaincy, and I just don't think it was good enough. He was tactically naive, and I know he was let down by his bowlers and some of his teammates with the bat, but ultimately, as skipper, you've got to have better plans. I just think he's a plan A guy, a plan A captain, who, when things don't go according to that plan, he struggles. And I know Mickey Arthur supported him a lot. Whether he will continue as ODI captain, I highly doubt it. One way or the other, I think we'll see a new ODI captain after this World Cup, which is probably better for Babar's batting. Hassan Ali, 3 out of 10, 20 runs with the bat in 3 innings, 9 wickets, economy of 6.29, average of 35.66. Nah, not good enough, really. Lost his place because he got injured, and then Wasim Jr came in. And Hassan Ali, he's very honest. He's criticises himself when it's needed, and he won't be happy with those numbers. I don't think he was at his best, really. Again, too many loose deliveries. Shadab Khan, 3 out of 10. Very disappointing with bat and ball. 2 wickets for 237 runs, average of 118.5. That is absolutely shocking. I've given him 3 out of 10, which could have been even lower, mainly because of the 121 runs he scored at an average of 24.2 down the order at a good strike rate of 100. So I think without those batting runs, it probably would have been 2 out of 10. Economy rate of 6.23 with the ball. Again, simply not good enough. Full toss, long hops. What's happened to that zip with the ball? What's happened to his googly? What's happened to that leg break? What's happened to the top spinner? Those deliveries are just not there anymore. Needs to go away, work on his bowling, work on his batting, look at what he wants to do in terms of cricket going forward. Looks like a guy who's not enjoying the one-day format. This isn't the Shadab Khan that we saw at the Champions Trophy in 2017, is it? Looks like a shadow of that cricketer. Osama made a 2 out of 10. Yeah, I feel a bit bad giving him 2 out of 10. I know it was his first World Cup. He was thrown in to the Lions' Den at the in India at this World Cup, having not played much 50-over cricket. 4 wickets for 248 runs, average of 62, economy rate of 7.08. Similar to Shadab's bowling, too many loose balls, too many long hops, too many half volleys. Too many half trackers. Batters have been feasting. Every team has had spinners, at least one spinner. You look at those top 4 teams, and they've got Yadav and Jadeja, and New Zealand have had Santner, Australia Zampa, and South Africa with Maharaj and even Shamsi at times. But Pakistan just have had no spinner to fall back on, and I was really disappointed with Osama's bowling in this tournament. Mohammad Nawaz, 2 out of 10 as well. 81 runs in 4 innings with the bat. Nothing to write home about, considering he's supposed to be fairly useful with the bat. Bowling numbers, they give me a headache just reading them out. 2 wickets for 223 runs, average of 111.5, an economy rate of 5.89. Wow, that is so bad. It's just simply not good enough. And that trio of main spinners, Nawaz, Usama Mir, and Shadab Khan, are not the main reason, but one of the reasons why Pakistan will be flying home on an Emirates flight in the next few hours. So really disappointing tournament for Mohammad Nawaz. And last and least, or should that be last but not least, Imam ul Haq. 162 runs. I've given him 2 out of 10, by the way. Maybe that should be 1 out of 10. But 162 runs in 6 innings. Average of 27, appalling. Strike rate of 90, and he scored 150. That was at the top of the order. This is a guy opening the batting. Other teams have had Conways. Other teams have had Rohit Sharmas, Shubman Gills, Quinton de Cox. These sort of players, David Warner's at the top of the order, smashing the ball into all parts. And we had Imam ul Haq playing singles, dot ball after dot ball, hardly any boundaries, batting for himself. Sorry, That is just simply not acceptable. Not only his batting, but his fielding. He looked slow in the field. He looked awkward in the field. And yeah, 2 out of 10, I'm afraid. I think overall, it's a lot of doom and gloom. Plus points, Fakhar Zaman, Wasim, and far too many negatives, I'm afraid, to reiterate. There's my stats anyway. I hope it's not too painful for you. Pakistan head home now, 5th place. Didn't qualify for the semi-finals. Didn't deserve to. Thanks very much for watching. Watch out for the next video coming shortly. Thanks. Take care.